Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Bottom left-hand corner we have Tarpman, starting as the Gray Zerg. Up left-hand corner we have Vile. We'll just say Vile, starting as the Teal Protoss. I have him listed as Vile Potato, which is what I've seen on the Liquipedia and various other locations. I previously know him as Vile Tomato. I don't know if he's gone for... I don't know if he's slowly morphed, where the Vile Tomato left fertilizer for the potato, and then it became the potato, and that just rotted and he became Vile. Anyway, shout out to Tarpman, by the way. I have known Tarpman longer than anybody else at this tournament. He is, if anybody's watching this and is from the Joe.2 community, shout out to you guys. But he was originally from the Joe.2 community, and we all migrated. A handful of us migrated to a sub-community that was on IRC known as Ikaruga, where we had a very eclectic group of individuals that were very, very fun. But anyway, I in my heart, I root for Tarpman as well. He's one of the other guys alongside Machine, just so that it is known. Anyway, ZVZ, I'm not sure where Tarpman is. I think he's in Upper Hasu League, Lower Gosu League these days. I'm not 100% positive about that. And I think Vile is Chobo League area, if I recall. Anyway, he's opening up with a 9 hatch, it looks like. And I could be wrong about that. Also, I think Vile participated in a lot of the Dead Infested and some other interesting things. Look like we're seeing Overpool here from Tarpman. Theoretically, 9 pool will provide the stronger economy. And this is Radion, so it might be a bit of a challenge. It's not cross position, I will say. So that is an additional addendum, and a flood of Zerglings off the 9 pool could be, or off the 9 hatch, I should say, could be detrimental. The one problem with, it's kind of interesting, it's one of those things where opening up with a more macro-oriented play is a little bit safer on maps like Radion, because you have larger distances for Zerglings, so you have more opportunity to provide defense. But more often than not, if you're opening up for a 9 hatch or 12 hatch, you are usually going for a Zergling flood as far as a follow-up, rather than going for fast Mutalisk. More often than not, with a 9 pool or overpool, you're going for the fast layer, as we see from Tarpman doing. So interestingly enough, I wonder if that ends up being detrimental, because your Zerglings off the initial hatcheries have such a great distance they have to travel. I'm curious what the in-between build is, where you can go for a 12 hatch or something like that and still end up with a fairly fast hatchery. I guess that would be the other option, is go 12 hatchery or rapid gas. Skip the spawning pool, that would be a little bit nuts, and try to get the drop that way. That poses a lot of risks, however, I will say. As well. No gas, by the way, at all from Vile, and it looks like it's just going to be pure Zerglings from here. He still needs to find his opponent's base. It looks like we have additional Zerglings moving out for Tarpman to go ahead and get the scouting information. He's going to see this natural expansion hatchery, and if you get a few Zerglings out on the field, that can provide a little bit of a detraction from Vile, where he can't really commit as much as he might want to. Right now, Tarpman knows the Zerglings are on the way, so it's a bit of a timing thing here. In fact, Zergling speed? Yeah, actually Tarpman gonna get out on the field with these Zerglings. So he wants to engage, it looks like, Vile, force him into a defensive slot so that he can get the Mutalisks up in the air. This is a bit of a risk here. Because if, honestly, Vile theoretically can just flat out produce him. Third hatchery dropping, by the way, can just flat out produce him as far as raw Zerglings go. And so Tarpman's just hoping that these Zerglings surfaced will force Vile in a defensive position rather than allowing him to move across the map, because in theory this would but Vile not having enough Zerglings on the low ground despite all of this, and actually losing a drone on the low ground as well. Hatchery taking a lot of damage. I guess there wasn't continuous Zergling production is the other thing from Vile, which is more often what you see out of this, and Tarpman pouncing on it, able to get in and get really, really good trades. Also, he's got Zergling speed, which just makes them do a lot more. So on top of everything else, he's going to be able to wipe out this natural expansion and now engaging. Plus, he's got the air follow-up. Tarpman now retreating. That could also just be a timing that I'm not aware of on Radion or other maps in particular, where you can just run forward with my thought was, okay, you've got that hatchery up, but yes, you got to produce enough Zerglings to get through, but maybe that's just a timing in the midst of a single Zergling, by the way, getting in. Was able to kill at least 2 of Tarpman's drones. I don't think it's going to make a difference, though, because as soon as these Mutalisks are in the air, unless we see an evolution chamber right this second, which I'm not seeing out of Vile, the Mutalisks are basically going to be able to... One Mutalisk will be able to hover over here, another Mutalisk will be able to go straight to this base, and then it's just going to be dead drones and everything else. Tarpman trying to hold the ramp right this second. A few of these Zerglings are going to peel through. We do have that Sunken Colony otherwise. And the Mutalisks are going to go ahead and engage. It looks like a little bit. Don't really need to. And now it's, yeah, the Mutalisks can just, they're going to go after the Overlord initially, which is going to give time for the Evolution Chamber to drop along with the Creep Colony. So Vile not out of it yet. Not out of it yet. Although, obviously at some major disadvantages. Worker count's actually even after all of this, after the Spore Colonies have gotten dropped, but now Vile moving out with a lot of Zerglings might have an option to win this. Because Tarpman now out of position. Yeah, Tarpman's gonna have to do some work to attack these Zerglings as they're walking their way across. Could be a lot of Zergling losses. Zerglings holding the ramp, some drones getting misrallied right there. Now the engagement with the Mutalisk support. The Mutalisk will be all the difference here. So Vile throwing out a lot of units here. That is going to keep him in this, though. Natural expansion still exposed. We don't have a Sunken Colony there. That would have been also the Evolution Chamber, really poorly placed from Vile. It is completely exposed. So we're going to need a third Sunken Colony somewhere here to provide support. 2 more Creep Colonies getting dropped. More Zerglings making the way across. Vile continuing to press these units forward. But what this is doing is this is keeping Tarpman back. It might be delaying the inevitable, however. Whoa, look at that Electra slide. That was a nice little smooth maneuver. Smooth criminal drone right there. Now we got 6 Mutalisks making their way across the field. No additional Overlords to pick off. That Evolution Chamber, again, completely exposed. And now the problem for Vile might be, despite he still hasn't tech delayer, is I don't think he can get enough Mutalisks out into the air in sufficient enough time. Whoa, careful, Tarpman. Oh, okay, got a drone right there. Take the free win, take the Evolution Chamber. Oh! Taking some damage, but Evolution Chamber's in range. Get it. I think he's debating going for a dive back here. Thing is what Tarpman can do is, 1, he can expand if he wants to, but 2, he can just continue building Mutalisks until he has an overwhelming amount and can dive on these Spore Colonies, and you'll see, as far as just the raw numbers, even if Vile just flat macros his brains out, there's just going to be a lot of Mutalisks way too early to defend this off, is what it really comes down to. Damage on the Spore Colony. Yeah, working on it now. Lost 1 Mutalisk right there. Second Mutalisk, another emergency Creep Colony getting dropped. Should be able to wipe out. Well, is he going to be able to wipe out that Creep Colony? This is kind of an odd thing. I didn't think Creep Colonies had, or Spore Colonies had this sort of range, but they are managing to hit at quite a distance here. Also, a lot of drones getting hit with the additional glaives. And Tarpman's done an incredible amount of damage, just sitting on the corner here, letting the glaives hit the Spore across. Still's not grabbed as natural. Cycling around, doing what he can. Careful, careful. Spore getting some good damage done. Another Mutalisk falls. Wondering if Tarpman's overcommitting with the Mutalisk right this second. Now pulling back. There is getting the free Evolution Chamber. Yeah, there we go. Got the Spore with the glaives on top of everything else. This should be the killing blow. And I don't know that Sunken Colony dropped in the midst of this. Tarpman with a massive supply lead, by the way. Mostly in Mutalisks, but this is where, yeah, there's just not going to be enough to defend. Additional Creep Colony getting dropped. So Evolution Chamber needs to get redropped. A lot else needs to happen. Tarpman can go ahead and grab an additional base. Looks like he's doing so. He's already got enough Mutalisks to probably pile drive through the Spore Colonies that are remaining. Yeah, working on it now. Wonder what the magic number is, because I got to admit, this doesn't look like it's it. Man, that Spore, for whatever reason, just has massive amounts of range. The glaive still wiping out the drones. Vile down to 4 drones, and still has not GG'd. In the midst of this, is he just gonna he's still trying to produce drones and stay in it, but this game's over, honestly. Another drone dying to glaives. There's GG from Vile. Tarpman takes game 1. Hurrah. Joe 2 victory. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.